Hello and welcome to Stock Breakthroughs. I'm your host, Sandy Franks. As usual at Stock Breakthroughs, we're on the hunt for a stock that is loaded with profit potential, the kind that lets you brag to your friends about the amount of money you made. Today's guest, Andrew Snyder, has got that stock for you. Andrew is Senior Editor of Volume Spike Trading Service and contributes regularly to Fear and Greed, a free daily e-letter that you are welcome to sign up as a regular reader. More about that later. For now, let's find out about Andy's breakthrough recommendation. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you.
Now, Andy, the stock you're highlighting is in the semiconductor sector, and I read a statistic that electronic systems manufactured in China were the driving factor behind 90% of growth in worldwide semiconductor consumption. Do you agree with this assessment? Is that what's really driving this market?
I certainly do. The semiconductor market just had a record year in 2006 with some $250 billion in sales, and 13% of that growth came from China. And you know, the vast majority of parts are being manufactured, semiconductors are being manufactured in Asia. So that's certainly the hotbed of the industry right now.
Well, let's talk about the specific semiconductor company you're recommending. How big is this company?
The company itself is $250 million market cap, has about half that in annual revenues, has offices in Canada, United States, Europe, Asia. It definitely has a lot of room to grow. It's starting to spread across the globe and really growing.
So you said $250 million and it's a global company?
That's correct.
I noticed in looking on some of the stats on the company and the third and fourth quarter of 2006, it seems to have grown its revenues, whereas in the first two quarters, the revenue growth was flat. Can you account or have any reason why there was an increased growth in revenue in the last two quarters of the year?
Sure. It was a pretty interesting year for the company. The first two quarters, like you said, were pretty flat and pretty rough. Then the board of directors stepped in and said, we have to do something about this. So they went to the management team. They created a new business strategy. The strategy is working quite well. And 2006 ended up being their first profitable year in about 6 years.
Well, what about this company caught your attention?
Well, first, running the volume spike alert service, I ran across a pretty strong volume spike in late January, early February, about 10 times the average trading volume in a day. And so I started digging and found out they had just signed a deal with BAE Systems to supply one of BAE Systems' subsidiaries with some pretty interesting technology that has a potential to really take off. What
kind of technology?
It's with their semiconductor technology. It's a gyro piece it's used in sensors for cars, aircraft. It tells the onboard computer what direction the vehicle's heading. There's a lot of potential out there in missiles. Like I said, airplanes, cars are using it. So
You're talking GPS systems?
It's similar to GPS.
Similar?
It's more of a direction heading system, which as we move into automated systems in cars and fly-by-wire systems, it's going to be really big.
And you mentioned missiles. It's being used for defense contractor and missiles?
BAE Systems itself is a major defense contractor, and that's what really makes this exciting.
Well, let's get to the numbers on this company. What's the current share price, and where do you think it's going to go in the next several months?
Right now, it's selling for just $2 a share. With the next quarterly earnings, and as investors realize this company is going to be profitable again, they got the right management and the right strategic plan in place, easily $5. And if BAE Systems starts looking at this as a potential buyout acquisition, then the share price could easily go to $10.
Do you think it's realistic the company could be bought out?
BAE Systems is sitting on a hoard of cash right now. They just sold off 20% of Airbus for her. I think they have about $1.2 billion in cash they're sitting on right now. And they just came out this week, said they're looking for some U.S. acquisitions of any size. So this company would be a great acquisition for them.
And that would really spike the stock share price.
That would certainly make a few investors quite rich.
In your briefing on the company, you mentioned Xilinx does a lot of electronics work, but the Xilinx Analog Foundry deal is by far the most interesting. It would be the likely catalyst for future profits. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, this division, it's a little bit off their main strategy. The companies can go in with an idea, and the Analog Foundry will help them develop the idea, research it, engineer, and then get it to the market. So it's a big system. As this technology starts to really hit the market and people want to get out there with it, this company is the go-to company.
So let's recap. It's a global company. It's $250 million, and you see a potential for a rise in the share price.
I see definitely triple-digit potential there.
Triple-digit. Now, you're putting together a research report on the company that would be available as a white paper. Is that correct?
That's correct. It'll be available on volumespikealert.com.
As usual, Andy, good information. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
If you'd like more information on Andy's service or interested in getting a copy of the white paper report, you can do so here at taipanfinancialnews.com. That's where you'll find all the details. Thank you for watching Stock Breakthroughs. I'll see you again next week. Until then, here's wishing you a world of profits.